Welcome to the Face Music Podcast. What's up, everybody? My name is Matt, and I'm your host. Welcome to episode number 33. Stay tuned for our top 10 songs of the week. I've got a recap of the first ever Projekt Xero show. It's just me and you hanging out today. Special guests resume next week. Are you guys ready? Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? How's everyone doing? What's up? Welcome to episode number 33. Here we are. We are in mid to late November. We're just a few days before Thanksgiving at this point. And holy shit, what a year it's been. I can't even believe we're here already. The whole damn year is just flying by, and we're just careening right for the end of it. Yeah, man, in a month, today's the 24th. In a month, it's Christmas Eve already. And then Christmas Day, New Year's, we're already almost at 2026. Unfucking believable that we're here already. But listen, I hope you guys have had an awesome year. I hope everything is going the way you want it to. I hope you're prospering in your job and your personal lives. I hope that you're seeing the growth that you want to see. I'm hoping that you have accomplished all the goals that you set out to accomplish this year. Yeah, I think it's a weird feeling, you know. We're staring a year in the face right now, you know. We started this year out, you know, everyone had the same idea, the same amount of promise, the same happiness, the same hype, and then it seems like almost right away for damn near everybody I know anyway, it just it fell off in a big way. But hopefully you guys are still staying strong. Hopefully everything's okay. I know, you know, you guys know my story personally, but this was a good project for me, which turned into something I'm actually quite passionate about, that I am very excited to see what happens in 2026 with. A podcast is something that I've wanted to do for a very, very long time, and I just never gave myself the time or the opportunity to do it. So, you know, and then when I was setting this up, you know, I had the idea. I had what I wanted to get out of this. And the scariest part was just starting it. It was, you know, a fear of seeing my face on a video screen, being the only one in the video. It was a fear of hearing my voice and not knowing how that's going to go. And what am I going to have to say? Am I going to have anything to say? Am I going to have to script everything, or am I going to be able to go off the cuff? And it's a little bit of both, honestly. But the nerve-wracking part is kind of gone. I'm not afraid of this anymore, you know. It's been an experience where I've seen a lot of personal growth, despite where this came from, you know, why I have the free time, why I decided now is the time to do this. And it's really helped me this year. It's introduced me to so many fantastic people. I've had the opportunity to connect with so many of you on such a different level. You know, it was kind of funny that last Friday, Alec Rogers, my drummer for Projekt Xero, he shared a post that he had done a year ago prior, and it said, my goal for 2025 is to get back on the stage. And I commented on it, and I said, same, bro, honestly. And 1 year later, to the day, we were, you know, just hours away from setting foot on stage together, which is so weird and ironic how that unfolded and happened. But I wouldn't have had it any other way. I will tell you guys all about the Projekt Xero show in just a little while. It was a fucking incredible night. We all had so much fun. Every band was so good. And we really, the boys and myself, we really had a great night together. It's weird, I say it's weird because it is all coincidental, but it's weird how everything came together this year. Going into 2025, I knew Tom Gallagher. I didn't really know. I didn't know Travis. I didn't know Dylan. I didn't know Alex Krauss. I didn't know Joe. I knew Alec for a few years. He actually recorded my old band, Burn Your Bridges. We did a demo with him. So I knew him, and we kept in touch through the years, which I'm very grateful for. But in terms of, what is this going to come to? What are these people going to be like? Who am I meeting this year? Going into it, knowing only a couple people, and then having it be where it is today, having the networking be where it is today it's incredible. It feels great to have connected with so many musicians, so many good people this year too. And, of course, we're right before Thanksgiving, so I do just want to mention how grateful I am for everyone who's ever tuned in to the Face of Music podcast, who has ever supported me in any way with this, whoever has bought a shirt or hot sauce or come to say hi if you see me at an event or stream something, give me something to put on here, help vote in a poll on Instagram or some shit, I appreciate it. It's that kind of stuff that makes me say that what I'm doing is for something. It's not just for me. It's not just for my community. It's for something bigger. It's led me to a lot of really cool opportunities, a lot of very, very cool opportunities. At the beginning of this year, if you asked me if I was going to be interviewing fucking Chris Contos or fucking Jason Bittner, two of my favorite drummers, like, I never would have told you that would be on the cards for me, and here we are, and I'm eternally grateful for both of those dudes for being so cool, for coming on and talking to me and just being normal. No big leaguing, no, they could have said no. They could have said no, and I wouldn't have blamed them. I'm a guy with a small-time podcast that's growing. Sure, it's growing, but they could have told me to fuck right off, and I would have understood, but they didn't, and I appreciate that. And 2026, I am looking to keep doing what I'm doing. I want to interview, obviously, some more big names if possible. I'm gonna go fishing a lot next year and see what I can pull up. But I'm also gonna keep up with artist interviews on a smaller scale too. I would love to continue to expose my audience to new bands from around the country, from around the world, really. Introduce you to some people who you may not know, who are really important for you to know. A lot of this comes from a place of I know bands. I know how bands work. I've been in bands for my entire life. It's such an ironic thing that I went from being in original bands for so long to not being in anything for so long to now being in a cover band, which is the antithesis of anything I've ever wanted in my life. But I'm having a great time with it, and it's still the same thing. It's still connections. It's still just go out there, have fun, talk to people, connect with people. A lot of my friends that are in original bands are touring, at least on a small scale. They are going out on weekend runs frequently. Big shout out to bands like Dead Within Days, who are almost never playing Long Island because they're constantly doing weekenders. And that's a good mentality to have, is that you go out there, you play these shows, you connect and you advance. And you connect and you grow, and you connect more and you grow more. And before you know it, it's not just East Coast that you're doing. It's Midwest, it's West Coast, it's South, it's North. You're all over the country, and it's not just weekenders anymore. Now you're doing 2-3 weeks at a time. Maybe you're doing a month at a time. You could be like Resistor, go months at a time. There's so much growth in the Long Island scene because so many people have cracked the code of, I don't want to stay regional, I want to grow. And that's such a good mentality, because truth be told, with any market, with any demographic, with any situation you put yourself in, there's a ceiling. There's only going to be so much you can do here. You have to go somewhere else and do it too. And then one hand will wash the other. The more you grow outside of this market, the more in demand you'll be for this market. You know, if you're never here, people are going to want to see you. So when you do play here, your shows are going to be insane. People are going to come from a couple of states over to come see you because you're doing a home show, you know, and nothing beats a good home show for any band. But the point of this is that I am actively interviewing people from across the country. I have not interviewed anyone from outside the country yet, but that is on my list for 2026. I want to make sure that I can help these bands network too. I want to make sure that if there's a band that is from Long Island and they're trying to get out of here, that they can hit up a band that I feature on the show, and they can connect, and they can, you know, set something up and do a weekend together somewhere else. Or if I talk to a band that's not from Long Island and they need a place to come when they're touring, come here. We'll help you. I'll help you. Shit. It's a really good network, and that's what I want to build this on, is networking, because it's so important. And, you know, as I said, I've been in local music. I've been in bands for 20 years. You know, it's a long time. I've been playing music a very long time. And I want to do what I can to help bands reach the next level. And there's a lot of resources out there. I'm not the only one. Big shout out to Dan Ferguson of Gavel Down with his podcast that he started just a couple months ago. He's already doing so well, and he's all about the tips and tricks on your sound and how to produce, and he's just got a real cool thing going. So I encourage everyone to go check out my good friend Dan. I love what he's doing over there, and he's been so supportive of the Face Music podcast too, and just everything he's got going on is something that I'm a fan of currently. He's a very smart person. He's a very intelligent person when it comes to music, and he's been doing this a very, very long time. So if you have the opportunity to, go pick his brain too. He'll teach you a lot of stuff. But guys, let's jump into today's episode. We have no special guest today, so it's just going to be us. Like I said, we're just going to chill. This one may not go as long as the other ones do, but that's okay. You know, I think that considering this is my second one in fucking month, I think now, we're just, you know, we're getting through some stuff, you know. You guys can tell I've moved. My background's been different twice now. I'm in two different parts of the same room, but it's been a very slow unpacking process. It's been a lot of reorganizing and setting up and breaking down, and I finally have a good situation going on here. I just got a brand new desk. I am very properly set up for home studio kind of stuff now, so I'm very happy about that. So I'm going to be doing a lot more with original music, so you can expect to hear some of my music coming out in 2026 as well. I'm going to be working a lot with Tom Gallagher, my vocalist for Projekt Xero, who's also the vocalist for The Stitched Up, for Soul Searcher. Tom's a very busy man, but he has graciously accepted my I guess you call it offer to work with me as the vocalist for my original project, which is still I'm not sticking to the original name. It was Fear of Failure, but that just doesn't seem applicable anymore because I'm not afraid of failing. I failed. I've eaten shit and crashed and burned so many times that I'm not afraid to do it anymore. So the name that I picked a couple of years ago, I am no longer going to stick with, but I'll keep you guys updated on what the new name is. There'll be a Instagram page, Facebook page, all that good shit. But you will hear new music probably the first quarter of 2026, which I'm very excited about because it's a long time coming, guys. I'm very busy when it comes to promoting everyone else's music and what everyone else has going on, that I don't really take much time to promote what I'm doing and what I've got going on. So just, you know, I know we're going to jump into the show in just a sec, but just to let you guys know a bit about me that you may not know. I've been playing guitar now a really long time. I've been playing guitar, I would say, seriously since 10th grade. So we're looking at about 22 to 23 years now. Um, Before that, I was taking drums very seriously, and I still do. I just don't have a kit to play on, which kind of blows ass, but I at least get to channel that the right way with programming. So I program all my drums when I record, which I have a very percussive mind. So a lot of the guitar stuff that I write is very syncopated with the drums. A lot of the drums are written to be properly played, not like, oh, the guitarist wrote a drum part and it's just buzzing in the background because you can't make out the notes. I do play bass as well. I'm not a bassist by any stretch, but I can carry myself with a bass. But I can't really do vocals. That's the one thing I never really delved into wholly, that I really don't care about doing. There's more talent out there than I can ever give vocally. And I'm not going to half-ass anything. I give my 100% to everything I do. If it's got my name on it, I'm giving it all I got. So I'm not going to shortchange myself either, which is why I asked Tom to be a part of this. In terms of a live band situation, I don't know yet. I would love to play shows. I would love to get this shit going. I need the balance of being in an original band to counter the fact that I'm in a cover band. But, I do have a lot of music out, well, soon to be out, that's been recorded, that's been written for my last 25 years that I've been doing music, since I learned how to write a song. So I have a lot coming down the pipeline. I have a lot of stuff that's going to be hitting out next year, and I'm very excited. So just to keep you guys interested on that, it's a lot of 7-string stuff. It's very heavy. It's not like genty deathcore heavy, but it's heavy, melodic, groovy, bouncy, all the things that I like. You guys know when I tell you about stuff on the top 10, you hear all the words I pick out that I'm pretty jazzed on. So you can expect a lot of cool shit out of me next year. But stay tuned for everything. And without further ado, let's jump further into today's episode.
2025 has been a wild ride, to say the least. Has me looking at my life under a bit of a microscope, and I find myself going back to happier times in my mind. Times where I would have friends knocking at my door on Saturday morning to ask me to go play hockey or go to the park to hit baseballs, or to a time before my friends moved out of state and they were only 5 minutes away, staying up until all hours of the night hanging out and talking. Well, what's a time in your life that you look back to fondly, nostalgically? What is something that you wish you could experience again just one more time? Is there any part about your life today that you feel you could look back on in 20 years with the same kind of nostalgia? I know that's a bit of a loaded question for a lot of us, but it does make you think. It makes you think about making the most of our today, because we don't always know our tomorrow, and makes us want to savor life, making every minute count. If you're like me, you want to do your best to stay present and in the moment. Did you know that therapy is a good way to help sort through these feelings? My friends, BetterHelp is the sponsor for today's episode, and they are on a mission to make starting therapy easier. They will connect you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen to you and give you helpful, unbiased advice. You'll just fill out a questionnaire and you will match with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. You can easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost if it's not the right fit for you. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform that you can trust. BetterHelp also accepts both HSA and FSA cards, making it even easier to prioritize your mental health. In 2024 alone, over 137,000 people used their HSA or FSA benefits for therapy through BetterHelp, so be sure to use yours before they expire. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/facethemusic and get 10% off your first month of therapy.
Now, guys, if you are interested in coming on the show, I'm not booking any further in 2025. I have my last couple guests lined up already, so I'm going to be leading that to close out the year. And I'll tell you a little bit more about how I'm going to close the year by the end of the episode today, so stay tuned for that. But I'm only doing 2 more for this year. And then everything else I'm going to funnel through 2026. So if you're interested in coming on the show, it does not mean that you're not getting on. I will get everybody on, but it will be basically after these 2 guests that I have in the next few weeks, you will be in 2026. At least that's when your episode will air. I'll try to get the interviews done in 2025. But if you are interested in coming on the show, I am booking, like I said, December forward is a little crazy. 2026 is really our frame here. That's what we're looking at. If you want to come on, either email me at theftmpod@gmail.com, or you could just shoot me a message on Instagram. That's really where I am the most receptive to getting new messages. I have the Facebook page. I post on there once in a while. As anyone can tell you, Facebook isn't exactly what it used to be, so I don't really focus on it as much. It's really Instagram that I'm always on. But I would say the most secure way to get in touch with me would be email, because you know how Instagram is. But if you don't have email, whatever, shoot me a message and we'll figure that out. Bands, this goes for you guys too. If you have new music coming out, if you have a new video, a new show that you want me to talk about for you, let me know so I can help you promote it. If you want a reaction video done for any of your music videos, let me know. I am looking to do more of those. I did one for Dark After Dawn, and it was a good time. Great experience for me all around. I got to thoroughly examine my friend's music, and I thought that was pretty cool. It was a good time for me. So if you want that done for you too, let me know. I don't charge for those, not yet anyway. But if you have anything imperative to 2025 that you need mentioned, tell me. Just because I can't get you interviewed and aired on the show before 2026 does not mean that I don't want your information to get your product out there sooner. I shout out bands every single week. I shout out bands' shows and new albums, new music, lineup changes, anything that you want me to. I will keep in the public eye for you as much as I can expose the public eye to it. So please don't be shy about that. Get at me as soon as you possibly can if it's really that time sensitive. For all my first time listeners, it is a pleasure to welcome you officially to the Face the Music family. I hope that you like what you hear. Be sure to go and check out all of the other great episodes of the Face the Music podcast. You've got a lot of catching up to do. But regardless, I'm glad that you're here. When you're listening, it is our time to just hang out together and forget about all the insanity in life. Forget about all the negativity and all the bullshit in the world, on social media, in the news. Just none of that shit matters here. None of it. There is no politics here. There is no worry or stress here. I'm here to talk with you about all things hard rock and metal music. I want to expose you to some great music, including at least 3 independent artists every single week. And I say at least because sometimes there's more. Sometimes there's a lot more. But I want to integrate the the local artists or unsigned independent, whatever verbiage you want to use. I want to integrate them with the more known bands. Because they deserve to have that blend. They deserve to be in a position where it's not like these are the 3 artists that are going to be the ones that you may skip over. No one deserves to be skipped over. Not a single artist that I feature on this podcast deserves to be skipped over. I bleed for unsigned independent music, and I want you guys to be exposed to all the good shit that's out there. I also will bring you discussions from artists that you know and love, like Chris Contos of Machine Head and Forbidden, and Jason Bittner of Shadows Fall and Category 7, 2 artists that you may not know yet, that I feel like truly deserve your full attention and that you should learn a little bit about. But regardless, thank you so much for tuning in, and I really hope you enjoy your experience. For all of my returning listeners, welcome back, my friends. Thank you for listening week after week, and thank you for joining me once again on another episode of the Face Music Podcast. Much love to you all, and I'm so thankful and so lucky to have your support. If you're hearing this, if you're seeing this, you're already doing the one thing that I want everybody to do, which is tune into the podcast. But I'm sure that you're sitting here thinking to yourself, man, this podcast is pretty fun. It's pretty awesome. How can I help it grow? Well, wouldn't you know it, I have 3 very quick, easy, and most importantly, free ways that you can help the podcast grow. Number 1, follow the podcast and listen every single week. If you're hearing this, you're already doing this. This is the most time-consuming part. This is what I personally would call the hard part. Number 2, follow the Instagram and Facebook pages, comment on posts. If there's a poll, throw your 2 cents in there. This may be my podcast, but this is our community. And I like hearing what you guys have to say. Your voice really does matter to me. So make sure that I hear it. 3, lastly, share the page or a post. If you're listening right now, you definitely know somebody else who would also enjoy. So spread the word. Tell them what's up. Tell them about some of the bands that you've heard here. Tell them about some of the interviews that you've seen here. It's all about exposure. It's all about growth, and it's all about fun, guys. This is fun. If you're tuning into the Face Music Podcast, you are here because you love all things hard rock and metal music. Everyone that I know that listens to hard rock, that listens to metal, knows people that also do. This is a family, a brotherhood, whatever you want to call it. Everyone knows someone else. So reach out to them. Let them know what you heard, because this whole thing is geared up about music. It's the one thing that binds us all together in this family, in this community, is music. There's so much that I feature that I think everyone deserves some ears on. And I want you guys to learn about the bands that you may not know about yet. I want you to learn about who's in your community that you may not even know exists, and they're right here next to you. I feature signed and independent bands every single week, and not just regionally in this country, but from all over the world. You or someone you know could find your new favorite band right here. I only promote the bands that I feel truly bring something to the table, something that's worth paying attention to. So I promise I will not waste your time telling you to listen to any band that is just going to be a dime a dozen. You hear them in a bar and you don't give a shit after that. I don't waste my time on bands like that. I'm sorry to say it, I don't, because I feel like that's just not the quality that I want to represent. So I won't waste your time. I hope that you've found some new great bands to listen to because of this podcast. I know personally, I certainly have. Now, you may also be asking yourself, is there a way I could support in other ways? Do you have any merch for sale? Well, again, this is also a fantastic question. I do have shirts and official Face the Music Podcast bottle opener keychains for sale. The keychains are $3. Shirts are $12. Hit me up on Instagram or email me if you want to buy. I have Zelle, I have Venmo. If you're local, I can do cash. If I have to ship, you can kind of factor $10 in for shipping as well. I don't want to charge you shipping, but I have to. For a very limited time as well, I have leftovers from this past weekend at the Projekt Xero show. I made hot sauce, as I told you guys I was going to. It is warm apple pie, so it combines the sweetness and the full flavor of the fall classic apple pie with the heat of a habanero pepper. Now, this is not for everyone. I'm sure I could say that confidently. It's not for everybody. But if you are someone who appreciates flavor-forward hot sauce, if you're someone who appreciates something that's more than just hot, this is for you. It is sweet. It's made with fresh apples, fresh ingredients. I make them all myself. And, they're sanitized, bottled. They're taken care of to be stored in warm or cold. But I do have, I would say maybe 15 bottles left at this point. So if you are interested in buying a bottle, it's $10. Same rules apply. I will have to factor in shipping if I'm shipping it out. Or if you're local, I have no problem meeting up with you. We could do cash, Venmo, Zelle, whatever you need to do. All right, my friends, it is that time. Let's get into the week 33 top 10 songs. Now, if you've been here for a little bit, you know the drill. But if you're new, I'm just going to give you the quick rundown, okay? If you're watching on Spotify, you'll hear all the songs in the top 10 as intended. But unfortunately, if you're watching on YouTube, I usually cut the song clips out because they get instantly flagged during uploading. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm sorry, but the clips probably won't be featured. If they are, this is why I say probably, it's because I said fuck it, and I've been in a days-long battle with my computer with editing, and I just said, you know what, let's just throw it up and see what happens, and I'll roll the risk on the copyright. But that does not happen often, and I don't want copyright strikes, which is why I try to avoid that. So if you're listening and you do hear the song clips on YouTube, it's not something you should get used to. For the full experience, please listen on Spotify. But I can't really change that with YouTube until they change their horrific licensing system. Now, you can still listen to the full songs on the Face Music Top 10s playlist that's on Spotify as well. The code will be at the end of the top 10, and it's also in the link that's in all of my socials. We are 33 weeks in. We have over 340 songs. I know you're saying the math doesn't quite math there. There was a week for week 20 where I had an additional 10 songs to boost all local bands playing MGR Fest for 2025, which is already being booked for 2026, so get excited about that. We are on our way up to 400 songs. I don't think we're hitting that before the year's over. We may, but I don't think we are. But we have over 21 hours of carefully curated, truly fantastic hard rock and metal music for you to enjoy. Now, I listened to this playlist every single night when I was traveling on Amtrak last month, going to Colorado and back. 2 days out, 2 days back. So I had a lot of time to listen to music. And guys, I have no reason to bullshit you. This playlist absolutely rips. It's got something for everybody on there, so make sure that you go check it out. This week in the top 10, we will be mixing things up a little bit. We have a little bit of rock, a little metal, a little rap. Some of it is older, some of it is new, all of it bangs. Today, my friends, we will be hearing from Projekt Xero, In Flames, Three Doors Down, Bleed the Gods, Necro, Reflections, Wax, Seconds Till Sundown, Resist the Temptation, and Eye of the Enemy. Kicking us off at number 10, out of Mississippi, we have the hard rock band Three Doors Down. Three Doors Down has always been one of my favorites. They are a fantastic hard rock band with so many hits, it's actually kind of hard to keep track. The band started back in 1996. They have released 6 studio albums, starting with The Better Life in 2020, which had the band's monster hits like Kryptonite, Loser, Be Like That. They followed up with Away from the Sun, which had hits When I'm Gone, Here Without You, and the title track. 17 Days, which had Right Where I Belong, Landing in London, Let Me Go, Be Somebody. And this album also featured current Nickelback drummer Daniel Adair. For those who don't know, Daniel Adair is a fucking monster on a kit. And do not laugh at the fact that he's in Nickelback. Nickelback rules, first of all. Second of all, Daniel Adair is one of the best drummers in the fucking game right now. And he has been since the early 2000s. This album was right before Daniel got picked up to join Nickelback. After these 3 albums, the band had a self-titled in 2008, Time of My Life in 2011, and Us and the Night in 2016. Now, earlier this year, singer Brad Arnold announced that he was diagnosed with stage 4 clear cell renal carcinoma, which unfortunately had spread to his lungs. Arnold put all of his fears into faith, and he is undergoing treatments for his illness. I'm praying for the best for Brad. Today we're going to take it all the way back to the year 2000, and we're going to visit the album The Better Life. Extremely important album to me growing up. It really was my introduction to something other than really heavy music, which you know if you've listened to the podcast. I was prohibited from listening to the heavy shit for a while as a kid, so I had to find other avenues, and Three Doors Down was the first one I found where I had that aggression that I really loved, with really good storytelling in the music, really good riffing, really good songwriting. So at number 10 today, kicking us off, this is Three Doors Down off of The Better Life. This is Duck and Run. Now, at number 9, we have a band that I guarantee none of you have ever heard of. Mostly because they weren't around very long and they were as local as a local band could possibly get. But damn it, they were good. Recently, it's been rumored that they may try to make a comeback, which would be a ton of fun to see, especially after being almost 20 years away. They released one 3-song EP back in 2005. They were very early, like melodic deathcore / mallcore. They certainly fit the 2005 era. The band is called Seconds Till Sundown, hailing from North Babylon, New York, right where I grew up. For the first time since high school, these dudes have an Instagram page, and they have that 3-song EP streaming. It would be very, very cool to see them do a show or two. So, boys, if you're listening, pull the trigger. We ain't getting any younger. Today, my friends, at our number 9 spot, this is a band that I truly feel deserves your ears, and I hope you enjoy every single bit of the 2005 mallcore quality of this recording. This is Seconds Till Sundown, Sean Hunter. Number 8. This week we have my homies in Bleed the Gods. Bleed the Gods have been on the show before. Their music has been featured before, and I talk about them quite a bit because they are so incredibly supportive of what I do too. Bleed the Gods just had their second show ever this past weekend, and regretfully I couldn't make it out because I was still feeling a bit under the weather, and I had my show one day later, which I wanted to make sure that I was tip-top for that. But if you guys can believe this shit, you know, I got sick 3.5 weeks ago now, and I still can't shake the damn cough that came with this. I went to the urgent care yesterday. They pumped me full of meds for the next few days, so I should be hopefully getting on the other side of this. But regardless, Sam just celebrated his birthday at the show. Big happy birthday to you, Sam. I hope it was a great weekend for you. I hope you had the time of your life, my friend. Next show you guys do that's coming up, let me know. I'll come out. Beers are on me, man. On top of Sam celebrating his birthday, Cross Island Connect just celebrated their 50th show. So big cheers to everybody. I hope you guys absolutely tore shit up last Friday night. But coming in at number 8 this week, this is Bleed the Gods off of their new split EP with the band Rule of Thumb, which, by the way, incredibly cool concept by these two bands. They're doing a versus kind of EP. So Rule of Thumb contributed 2 songs, and Bleed the Gods contributed 2 songs, and they did a joint EP together, which I think is very cool. So you get the 2 from each band. It's very innovative. It's very awesome. If you go to a live show, pick up a hard copy of it if they're still there. But at number 8, this is Bleed the Gods with Dead Strange. Just Number 7, I told you this week we're going to be mixing some shit up. We're not sticking to the mold of hard rock and metal for week 33. Now, I am a big fan of rap music, mostly the older stuff, and definitely the stuff that has lived underground. It's got to make me feel something. It's got to channel an emotion or elicit a response in order for me to really, truly appreciate it. Just like any kind of music, really, but with rap, it's got to be good. So for those who know, I'm sure you'll enjoy this. And for those that don't, I'd like to introduce you to horrorcore, death rap, New York hardcore hip-hop artist, metalhead, producer, Ron Raphael Bronstein, a.k.a. Necro. Born in Brooklyn and raised on metal, Necro started playing music at 11 years old in a death metal band called Injustice. He switched to hip-hop after a little while. Necro picked up his stage name from the Slayer song Necrophiliac, which came after his original stage name, Mad Mooney, which came from a character in a Clive Barker book. Considering his roots, it should come as no surprise that Necro has dabbled in rap metal, but not in the nu metal type of way. He combined rap with death metal, which he refers to as death rap. He's taken heavy influence from Metallica, from Slayer, from Death, and he's even collaborated with Mike Smith of Suffocation, Scott Ian of Anthrax, Dave Ellefson of Megadeth, Jamie Josta of Hatebreed, Harley Flanagan of Cro-Mags, Mark Morton of Lamb of God, and Brian Fair of Shadows Fall, and so many more. His shows are always high energy. He wants his fans to be pitting and throwing down, having fun. He's done The Gathering of the Juggalos, which should not come as any surprise. Once you hear his music, it'll make total sense. He's also done Download. He's done Rock the Bells. He did Sounds of the Underground, where he ended up leaving the tour due to contention with the fans. He he was on the touring package with Shadows Fall, Gwar, Every Time I Die, and Necro said that his management agreed it would be best for him to leave the tour because he was afraid of somebody in the crowd getting hurt. He said there were lots of glass bottles being thrown at the stage, and he was being booed mostly by the younger emo crowds. But his fans showed up in full force every single night. But for safety of the crowd, he decided to bow out of the tour. Respectful move to look out for your people like that. Now, Necro to this day is still active. He's still doing his thing. I would love to see this dude on a bill with Tech 9 at some point. Taking our number 7 spot this week, going back to his debut album, I Need Drugs, from all the way back in 2000, this is Necro with Your Fucking Head Split. Number 6, we have Swedish melodeath legends In Flames. Somehow, almost impossibly, it has taken me 33 weeks of doing the podcast to feature In Flames, which even has me shook. In Flames are one of the most influential and powerful bands to come out of the legendary Gothenburg metal scene. They're considered pioneers of the melodeath genre alongside Dark Tranquillity and At the Gates. The band has had too many members to even name at this point, but the band's current lineup consists of Bjorn Gillot, I know I'm botching that, on rhythm guitar, Anders Frieden on vocals, guitar god Chris Broderick on leads, and Liam Wilson on backing vocals and bass. Longtime drummer Tanner Wayne departed the band at the beginning of 2025, just after their tour with Machine Head, and was replaced by drummer John Rice, but no official announcement regarding Rice becoming a full-time member has been made. The band has 14 studio albums, the first one being released in '94 and their most recent being released in 2023. In Flames was just announced for a couple of summer festivals, and rumor has it that they may be announcing a full U.S. tour soon as well. I know they just dropped a massive European tour. In Flames is an absolutely must-see band, so if they come your way, get out to a show. But coming in at number 6 today off of their 2011 album Sounds of a Playground Fading, one of Sweden's finest mellow death bands. This is In Flames with Deliver Us. Number 5 this week, I'm throwing you guys another curveball. Coming to you from the hip hop underground, hailing from Dunkirk, Maryland, we have the rapper Wax. Wax is one of my favorite rappers. He doesn't try to do something or be something that he isn't. He doesn't flash cash or try to make you believe that he isn't anything more than just a normal ass dude. Wax has worked a lot with the producer EOM, aka Elements of Music, aka Daniel Carey, a producer from Virginia who was also a very close friend and partner of Wax. EOM tragically passed away in 2018 due to an ongoing illness, but Wax has kept his name out there, making sure that everybody knows who EM was and how talented he was. Herbal T is another producer, rapper that Wax works with, it's his twin brother. So how fucking cool is that to work that closely with your family? Wax went viral a few years back. I want to say probably 10 or so years ago now for his song Coins, which sampled music from Luigi's Mansion, which was a good intro to anyone who was unfamiliar with Wax and what he was all about, what EOM was all about, was taking very obscure samples and turning them into these awesome, fantastic songs. If you haven't heard Coins, I really suggest you go check it out. It's a very fun song. And the video was so simply done, but it was also one of the best videos that I've ever seen. It was just Wax, and he was wearing a Snorri Cam, which if you're not familiar with what a Snorri Cam is, it's basically a self-facing camera. It comes over your head, or sometimes it comes up from your sternum, and it just films you. And it's supposed to reduce motion, so the left and right won't be shaky, but it'll just move with you. But he was wearing one of those, and just the room around him, he was just spinning in circles. The room around him changed. He himself did not change. It was a very cool video. But he's also very well known for his songs Rosanna and Limousine. The best way I can describe his music is very laid-back West Coast hip-hop with East Coast flair. You never get the same song twice, but you do get the genius of EOM using incredibly out-of-the-box samples, especially in the song that I'm about to play for you guys. The first time that I heard the song, my first thought was, fuck, that is so creative. Who would have even thought to sample this? After I was done laughing, once I realized what the actual song was that was being sampled, I want you guys, if you recognize it, I want you to drop it in the comments for me. Tell me if you recognize where this is coming from, especially you 90s kids. Wax is one of the best out there, one of the best in the game. I highly encourage you to go stream more of his music. Check out his videos. Quite often they are very funny. Check him out live. Dude is always on tour. Lately on tour a lot with Jarv. If you're unfamiliar with Jarv, he is also an elite level rapper. Big shout out for Jarv. But I'll tell you about him at another time. I'm going to do more integrated episodes where we feature some rap music too. But for today, my friends, coming in at number 5, this is Big Wax featuring EOM. This is Relax.
1, 2, 3, 4 people. My tongue is bored, type of curveballs, winning fucking side.
Coming in at number 4, we have friends of the podcast, Resist the Temptation. RTT has had a hell of a year this year. I think quite possibly exceeding what even they had imagined possible with how hard that they've been working to promote their music, their shows, their band as a whole. They have been kicking ass and taking names all fucking year. I featured them before on an interview. I featured their music before as well. This band impressed the hell out of me and never stopped. Recently at Monster Mosh on November 1st, almost a month ago now, which is fucking nuts, the band dropped their brand new EP, To Find Peace in a Bitter World. This 5-song EP was absolutely fantastic, and nothing else should ever be expected from RTT. They are hardworking, they are careful with their songwriting, they have a sound, but they don't fall into predictability, and they write with such passion. They're incredible people, and I'm so fortunate to have met and connected with them this year. Hell, I mean, Dylan, I did the interview with Resist Temptation. I met Dylan 2 days later at the Trivium concert at Pier 17 in the city, and we've connected on such a good personal level that Dylan's even in Projekt Xero with me. I fucking love that dude, man. Dylan, if you're listening, I'm so grateful for your friendship this year, and I'm so happy to have connected with you, my friend. I never met somebody so proud of what they've created more than Dylan is. Keep that pride up, and not just Dylan, but Katie, Phil, and Sandy too. You guys all have something very special here. Congrats on a fantastic EP, and I can't wait to see what's next for all of you guys. At number 4 today, my friends in Resist the Temptation off of their brand new EP, To Find Peace in a Bitter World. This is The Loudest Silence. Quick recap of our top 10 before we get into our top 3 songs of week 33. At number 10, we had 3 Doors Down, Duck and Run. Number 9, we had Seconds Till Sundown, Sean Hunter. Number 8, we had Bleed the Gods, Dead Strange. Number 7, we had Necro, Your Fucking Head Split. At number 6, we had In Flames with Deliver Us. At number 5, we had Wax with Relax. And at number 4, we just heard from Resist the Temptation, The Loudest Silence. Number 3, we have the band Reflections out of Minnesota. The band formed back in 2010 by vocalist Jake Wolf, bassist Francis Zayana, and guitarist Patrick Somule, who are the 3 original members who are still in the band. Boris Blood was on drums and Alex Curry on rhythm guitar, both of them departing in 2011. The band never replaced Curry, but the band hired Nick Lona on drums in 2014 after Cam Murray filled the interim in the short term before leaving in 2014. The band has 5 studio albums out, the last released in 2022 entitled The Fantasy Effect Redux, and the band also just finished their tour with Invent Animate and Silent Planet back in October. They are still extremely active. The band just dropped the EP Shadow a year ago, so they're always working on newer music. Keep an eye out for them. I'm sure that there's more on the way, and please go out there and catch them live. Great progressive metalcore band. I hope you guys like what you hear. At number 3 this week, this is Reflections with Delirium. Coming in at number 2 this week, we are going to head up to Canada. Everybody say hi to one of the best metalcore prog metal bands out there, Protest the Hero. Originally starting in 1999 as Happy Go Lucky, the band changed their name in '02 to Protest the Hero. Sorry. The band dropped their first full-length album in 2005 called Kezia. They signed to Vagrant Records a year after its release. Kezia made a ton of noise for the band, got them a lot of attention both locally and internationally. The band's second album, Fortress, would come out a few years later, still under Vagrant. By the band's third album, though, they were frustrated with labels and they decided to crowdfund their next album, which was a huge success for the band, raising over $125,000 and approximately reaching a turning point for how they would operate. Volition and Palimpsest would both be released independently. Volition would also feature guest drummer Chris Adler of Lamb of God on drums, as their former drummer Mo Carlson quit the band before they had entered the studio. Now, I have a quick funny story about these guys. I found out about them really early on, like 05, 06, when Kezia dropped. Also around that time, Trivium dropped The Crusade. When Trivium toured on The Crusade, they brought out two bands with them. Actually, now that I think about it, there was three bands. The Sword opened the show, and then was Sanctity and Protest the Hero. So when Sanctity opened, well, when they started up, because the Sword opened, they weren't great live. I'll be honest. Sanctity was not a great live band for me. I didn't think much of them. They kind of bored me a little bit. No one really showed any stage presence. I checked them out when I got home. They were much better on the record. But for those who are unaware, their bassist is Jared McEachern, who is now sitting comfy in Machine Head since Adam Duce left the band after the Locust tour. Also, one of the strongest examples of a commanding stage presence in the game now. So, Jared, good on you, dude, because it didn't start that way. Protest the Hero played next. They came out with so much fucking energy right away. Roddy screaming his lungs out. The band hauling ass. Sounds great, right? You'd think. There was one huge problem. The sound guy's head was so far up his own ass that Roddy's mic was completely off. Volume started to creep up on the mic about halfway through the first song anyway. Testament to how hard these guys go when they perform. The crowd still ate it up. For those of us that were in the back, we were screaming at the sound guy, fix it, you can't hear the guy. But dude, the crowd still ate it up, and like the rest of the performance was just god tier. It was incredible. Today though, we are going to throw it all the way back to the album that changed it all for Protest the Hero. We're going to go to 2005's Kezia. This one broke them out. I feel like aside from No Stars Over Bethlehem, this was the 1-2 punch that blew these guys up. At number 2 this week, this is Protest the Hero with Heretics and Killers. And our number 1 song comes to us from Australian metal band Eye of the Enemy. This band started up in 2006 after founding members Julian Dittar, Chris Kane, Gene Arenas, and Sean Blanchard and Taryn Parker Brown all found each other on an online forum. Now, you guys know how much I love hearing shit like this. The metal community really is an amazing thing. The band had a couple members quit and ended up being replaced before the first album dropped. Gene Arenas was replaced on bass by Jamie Walker-Priest, and Taryn was replaced by Troy McCosker on drums. Their lineup would change a few more times through the years, but the band currently sits at Chris Kane on guitar, Mitch Alexander on vocals, James McInnes on bass, Simon Headley on drums, and Maurizio Piras on guitar. These guys are making a fucking ton of noise lately, so make sure that you go follow them up on socials, follow them on Spotify, keep an eye out for what they're doing. They're currently working on their next full-length album to their 2024 release, Only Equals Negotiate. Today, though, we're going to throw it back to 2014 with their album The Vengeance Paradox. At our number one spot this week out of Australia, this is Eye of the Enemy with The March. You can check out the full songs on the Face of Music Top 10s playlist on Spotify by either searching or scanning the code that is on your screen now. Alright guys, we have a few upcoming shows I want to talk to you about. We have Uchikatsu, Path We Choose, I Dreamt the Sea, and the Monster Stage Wednesday, November 26th at Amityville Music Hall, Amityville, New York. It's a 21 and up show, $15 if you buy in advance. It's $20 if you buy at the door day of show. This starts at 7 p.m. It's Uchikatsu's last show before they head into the studio to work on their next album. So make sure, if you guys have been meaning to check this band out, you get out there and you do it. This is 2 days from now. I'm recording this on the 24th. So on the 26th, you have 2 days, this Wednesday. Get out there and support these amazing bands. December 7th at City Sound in Ronkonkoma, New York, we have Major Moment out of Boston. We have Resist the Temptation, Crash the Calm, and The Stitched Up. $18 to get in. There is no bar. Dry shows are usually encouraged at City Sound, so if you're not bringing it yourself, please just be respectful of the venue itself. It's a very cool place. It's just a regular sound studio. It's a very awesome thing that the owner is doing to let bands host shows there. So please be respectful of this place, guys. The event, this is an early one. This starts at 3:30 p.m. So show up early, throw down, and have a great time. Now, 12 days later, at Amityville Music Hall, we have a legitimately stacked lineup. We have Hollow Isles, which is Long Island's newest post-hardcore band. This is their debut show, the first show that they've ever done. They kick things off at 7 p.m. for us. We also have The Greater Us, who's releasing their album at this show. We have the return of I Ignite. We have The Boys in Lost Becomes. And we see the reunion of A Farewell Fire. Ridiculously stupid stacked lineup. I already got my ticket, guys. Hit up any of the bands or buy on the Amityville Music Hall website. Tickets are $15 and doors are opening up at 6:30 for this show. Now that all the shows that are coming up we just went through, I want to talk to you guys about last weekend. I want to talk to you about the Projekt Xero debut show. To everybody who came out, and I mean everybody, all 100 plus of you, thank you so much for such an amazing and successful night. Every band was so damn good. Rebar kicked things off for us perfectly as expected. Oceanside had a bunch of surprises in store for us, including a Rage Against the Machine cover and one cover that had the entire place losing their shit. A completely unexpected, they covered the DX theme. Which was so fucking cool. They killed it. Then we had the highly anticipated return of Gavel Down, who fucking decimated the place. They hit hard, fast. They sounded incredible. They ran through some new songs, some older songs, had the crowd's attention locked in the entire time. They looked so comfortable. Definitely not like this is a band who had just taken over 2 years away from playing on a stage. I was also in such a trance watching their drummer play. He was so insanely locked in. He's such a tight drummer. I'm so happy that we got these dudes on the bill. They were incredible, just as I had expected that they would be. Now, guys, with Projekt Xero, we got there at about 4:30 in the afternoon to do our sound check. And even then, anyone who's in the bar had their phones out. They were just recording, singing along. It was just, really just the other bands at that point. But we couldn't wait to get on stage and kick it off. From the second our intro track hit that night, we were all hugging, high-fiving, fist-bumping. The adrenaline was just pumping. And then when we kicked it off, we opened with Paper Cut. All the nerves just went away. The crowd was so fucking into it. And when the song finished, we knew we were as on as it gets, really. The rest of the set, it was so tight. It was so much fun. A few songs in, there was a pretty unexpected bathroom break from Travis and Tom at the same damn time, which was funny, but it left us kind of panicking on stage a little bit. So what do? We scrambled a little bit. We were scrambling and panicking on how to fill some dead air. So we ran through a chorus of Metalingus by Alter Bridge to keep up with the whole, covering wrestling themes for the night. We also jammed out Break Stuff, as I call it at this point, Old Faithful. That song has saved my ass from every single show where I've needed to fill some space. So shout outs to Sean Rayner for dropping that one in my ear. We had such a good time. The crowd had fun. We had fun. And when Travis and Tom got back on stage, obviously we all joked about it, but boys, just a word of advice going forward. Always piss before the set. We ran through the rest of the show. Once we hit One Step Closer, there were pits breaking out. There were huge sing-alongs with In the End and all that kind of stuff. It was a lot of fun. When we did What I've Done, thank you to everybody, by the way, for the participation with that. I printed out 30 directed by Michael Bay signs that I had everyone hold up when we were playing What I've Done. And I need to check back with the videos to make sure that we got some footage from the stage. But it was such a funny thing to see. And there were actually some people that didn't understand it. So I was like, now, you know what? We got to embrace the meme here. I want to make people laugh. I want to make people have a good time with us. I want this to be a very, as interactive as possible thing. And just embrace the meme of it, of course, but also what the song actually is. It's a very cool song. It's a very cool movie. Huge moment in pop culture. But regardless of my rambling with this, it was such an awesome and fun night, and we truly can't wait to do it again. We're already looking into booking more shows for 2026, so give us a follow, Projekt Xero New York on Instagram. Follow Moongroove Records, follow Face the Music Podcast, obviously. But that's where all the updates are going to be for these shows. And it's funny because I've been so against cover bands my entire life. Guys, I have always hated the idea of them. And then I got in a room with a bunch of my friends and played these songs from one of my all-time favorite bands. It was so much fun. And that's really, this was supposed to be a one and done. November 15th, it was supposed to be, we get together, we play these songs, we do the show November 15th, we film it for the podcast, we air the performance during the podcast, and then that's gonna kind of just be it. We kind of go our separate ways and pat ourselves on the back for a job well done for one night. But we were loving the time that we were spending together. We were spending, 3-4 hours a week together every Tuesday, and then the past 3 weeks leading up to the show, we were doing 2 rehearsals a week to make sure that we were really locked in for everything. So we were spending anywhere between 8 and 10 hours a week together, which is a long time, but we were having such a good time. We loved the feeling of the payoff of all of our hard work with learning all these songs. This is really something that came together in the last 3 months. We decided we really can't just do one show. So we're going to keep this thing going. All of us have original music that we're working on or in original bands. I'm actually the only one that's not in another band right now. But as I said earlier, I will be releasing my original music in 2026. I do have the full intention on starting up a project with that for a live band to support that release. But I feel like that's a proper balance for something like this. Cover bands, when they're done for the right reasons, the right way, they're fine. Shout out to the ones who are doing it for the fun and not the funds. Money is always nice, and it's a solid bonus. It's a really good incentive for doing this kind of shit, for sure. But if you're doing it just for some cash, it kind of feels soulless. Luckily for myself and the other dudes in Projekt Xero, we love the music. We love jamming together, and most of all, we just genuinely love spending time together. Long Island, Projekt Xero is your newest Linkin Park cover band, and 2026 we would love to play as much as possible, see as many of you at a show as possible. We want this to be done as tastefully and as respectfully to the band as possible. There are no egos. There are no costume changes. There's no pageantry. There's none of that shit. We're just a bunch of dudes playing the music that we grew up listening to that still means a lot to all of us all these years later, to celebrate the life of Chester Bennington, to celebrate the career of Linkin Park. And we would love to celebrate this music with all of you. So big shout out to Tom Gallagher, Joe DeMeo, Dylan Franton, Alex Krauss, Alec Rogers, and Travis Parker. I love you boys. Thank you for being a part of this and bringing this thing to life with me. Cheers, my friends. The full Linkin Park themed podcast, the special that I'm doing, will still air as planned in December. It's going to be about mid to late December. We're filming the roundtable next weekend, and it will probably air around 2 weeks after that. So it'll be one of my last shows that I do for 2025. So please stay tuned for any and all updates. Here's a little taste of the show for you guys. I don't want to keep you in the dark, so I'm going to give you a little sample on how things sounded, how things looked. For the full set, make sure you tune into the special Linkin Park episode in just a few weeks now. Music news. We got a few things to talk about, guys. Alyssa White-Glue's suddenly quit Arch Enemy the other day. Many of us woke up to the headlines breaking out that the longtime singer had left the band. Alyssa had replaced singer Angela Gossow after Angela had retired from performing and basically went on to manage the band back in 2014. Both Alyssa and the band were very vague when it came to statements regarding the departure. No details as to why were given. The band essentially just said a generic statement about parting ways, thanking Alyssa with no further details, and a see you in 2026. Alyssa, on the other hand, didn't specify why she was leaving, but did, however, plug her solo project and said that she has some big surprises in store for 2026. As borderline cryptic as it is, it's a shame that the split happened. Alyssa was a great fit for the band. Now, I'm really curious if Arch Enemy will continue down the path of female singers or if they will select a male for the role for the first time since the band's inception. Next up in music news, Dave Ellefson joined Metal Church. Big move. I didn't see that coming. I'll be honest, guys. They just dropped a brand new song. It is really good. It's really, really good. It's fast. It's heavy. There's great musicianship. Crazy good vocals. My main critiques, the solo left a lot to be desired, but I still think it was very complimentary to the song itself. But I think the wah effect really washed it out for me. My main gripe, though, the name of the song, FAFO. I'm very tired of these slang abbreviation tropes that the 50-plus crowd seems to be finding and embracing these past few years. FAFO is one of them. For those under a rock, it means fuck around and find out. The other one was on the back of every single Jeep Rubicon a couple of years ago. Dillagaff, or do I look like I give a fuck? Ugh, it's it's so cringy. It grosses me out. But lame ass abbreviations aside, the song truly rips, and for the first time in my life, I'm actually excited to hear more new Metal Church. Definitely check out the new song. It's worth a listen. It's definitely a rager. So, just to key you guys in on what the rest of the year is going to look like for the Face of Music podcast, I have 2 more interviews that I'm going to be doing for the year that will actually air this year. And then everything else is going to be pushed off into 2026. I have the Linkin Park special episode airing in a few weeks. I have Kill Baron out of Maryland on the show soon. I will have Miss Nika Rogers from Metal Nation on the show soon as well. And then to close out 2025, we will have a special Viewer's Choice episode where we'll go basically awards ceremony style. I'm going to drop a survey link in the coming weeks and have you guys vote on stuff like Song of the Year, Album of the Year, Breakout Band, all that fun stuff. And then the final episode of 2025 will be the reveal of those results. Keep your eyes and ears out for that one. 2026 on deck. I already have Devoted Fusion booked for an interview early January, and I'm going to start booking more bands and special guests shortly after. 2025 was a tremendous year, and I owe all of it to you guys believing in what I do, for supporting me, for tuning in every week, to telling your friends about the podcast. You're all fantastic, and there would be no Face the Music podcast if not for you, so thank you. I hope that all of you are doing all right with the holiday season starting up. I know that this is a very emotional time of year. I know a lot of us struggle with the holidays, with seasonal depression. None of that is a good time. But the only thing that I ask of you guys is that as tough as things may get, please lay your head on the pillow every night and wake up every morning. You will get through this. You will be okay. I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. However you celebrate, make sure that you celebrate well. Make sure that you're happy. Make sure that you're in a good place with good people. If being by yourself is the way you go, make sure that you are happy by yourself. But make the most of it. Have a very prosperous and reflective holiday. And just know that I am so grateful for each and every one of you who have tuned in this year and who have really gotten this off the ground with me this year. I can't do it without any of you. So thank you very, very much. Being as I do not have a special guest for today, I am going to wrap things up here. My phone is also running out of memory again. It's just fucking annoying, but I'm going to cut it a little short this time. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm getting more used to my new setup, so uploads will go back to being a weekly thing, not a monthly or bi-weekly thing like it's been. I apologize for all the craziness, and thank you so much for bearing with me through all of the changes, everybody. It's been very challenging getting everything back to feeling as normal can be the past month or so. Ed being sick on top of it and a cough that just won't fuck off. It's been a unique experience, to say the least. But thank you, everybody, for your time and your support. Thank you to everyone who listens, all the interactions on social media, who tells their friends to listen. I love you all, and I appreciate all of you more than my words can ever say. Now, again, just to reiterate, the fastest, cheapest, and easiest way to support the podcast is to just help get the word out. Share the page, like and share a post, tell your friends about the podcast, about any of the amazing bands that you've heard on the show. Tell them about bands that you've watched interviews for. If you're watching on YouTube, please press subscribe. Stay up to date on all the videos I post. Stay current with everything. And it really does go a long way, guys. So, please, if you're just watching this on YouTube, click subscribe. It takes 2 seconds, okay? Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you guys again on the next one. You have been listening to the Face Music Podcast. Be well, everybody. Be safe. Happy Thanksgiving. And I will see you again soon. Peace.